I couldn't grow. I was so angry in Michigan. I was so hurt. It was so many memories, so much betrayal, so many family things, things that backdated all the way to my childhood, that was stifling me from being able to just evolve into the woman that I knew that God was calling me to be. I felt like I had vice grips just on my spirit, just squeezing me. And I made the decision to leave. If you are feeling like you want to move, it's going to take for you to have to move in order to get the healing that you're seeking. Move. Stop wasting your time. Hi YouTube, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Crystal welcomes you home. You may or may not know, but I am a realtor in the state of Texas and in the state of Michigan. And 5 years ago, I relocated to Dallas, Texas from Detroit, Michigan. And I have so far put up one video about that transition. 5 years later, I got a lot to talk about. So if you stay tuned, I want to get you filled in on what life has been like 5 years after the move. I wrote some notes down because it's just not going to be super duper easy to go into everything from the top of my head, and this can be a 3-hour video. So I do have some notes here so that I won't be rambling on. Some of the things that I'm going to be discussing today is going to be the housing market, business opportunities, what cities are growing, and I'm going to speak a little bit about the culture and diversity of Dallas, Texas, and the surrounding areas. And I also want to talk about when you are feeling the need to move, how that can be a spiritual calling. And it can be a little bit more deeper than you just feeling like you want to move. It can literally be God letting you know that what he has for you is somewhere else. So if you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to really go in deep on that topic. But until then, let me just get you guys caught up with what life has been like in Dallas, Texas since the last video that I put up. So as you may or may not know, I relocated to Dallas, Texas from Detroit, Michigan in 2019, November of 2019. So that was roughly about 3 months before the pandemic happened. So hindsight being 2020, I planned for everything but the pandemic. That was something that had caught me completely off guard. We were not prepared for that. It was the most scariest time of my life, being in a city or a state where I knew no one, just me, my husband, and my children, and not having any family and going through such a critical period of time. Had I known that would have happened before I moved, I probably would have made the decision not to move, which would have been a huge mistake. Before I go any further, I do want to say this. If you are watching this video right now, I want to say Happy New Year. I am filming this video on the New Year Eve of 2025. So this is New Year's Eve 2024. And if we made it, if you're watching, that means you made it. And I want to say congratulations. Cheers to you as we drink to another year of prosperity and blessings. Let's sip to that. Thank you for being here. So let's talk about it. So in 2019, I moved to Dallas, Texas. I felt like I was being called to relocate. I think it was just one of those things where I feel like I had reached my fullest potential in Detroit, Michigan. I was born and raised there. I got tired of the same restaurants and doing the same things, seeing the same places, the memories, the good memories and the bad memories. I just wanted something new. I wanted to feel like I was on a vacation every day. I wanted to feel like, okay, I'm learning something new. This is a new culture, new climate, new everything. I'm starting over. That was just a big thing for me. And it was weighing so heavily on my spirit. Like, you need to move. Like, everything I tried, it just didn't work. And even in times where things seemed like they were working, they didn't, right? So I'm like, okay, what's really going on here? Like, why am I feeling like I'm being pushed to leave? So God being the God he is, he made all the doors. I'm like, okay, well, this is what I need to do. If this is what I'm being called to do, I need it to just happen. I don't want it to be a thing where I'm forcing it and the doors just swung open. I had already did my research because there was a few other places that I was contemplating to move into, like Georgia, Florida, and Arizona. So there was other places, but Texas was the only place that I can say we all agreed on felt like home. So I'm like, all right, let's do it, you know. And when I did my research, it was fairly inexpensive to live here. Like, you can get a bang for your buck. So 2,500 square feet on a rental, you're looking at 16, 17, 18, maybe $1,900 compared to in Michigan, 25, 26, 3,000 square feet. Oh, you're going to pay a pretty penny, like $3,000 or more. And I was feeling like also in Michigan, even on the purchase side, because I'm a realtor also in Michigan. So even with some of the homes that were for sale, they just weren't worth what was being asked for at the time. It's like, okay, if I purchase this home for 200,000, in order to modernize it, I'm going to have to put another $50,000 to $60,000 into the home. So I was thinking of things like that. I wanted to go somewhere where I can get a bang for my buck. I can feel like I'm vacationing every day, and I wanted to be in a growing community or just a state that had room for growth, right? So that's what led me here. After the pandemic or during the pandemic, the housing market changed drastically. The interest rates were very low. People were buying like crazy. People were coming in from California, New York. They were selling their homes in New York and California. They were coming in with a ton of equity that they pulled out, and they were just ready to buy. Some people buying cash or just having the cash to bid over asking price so that their offer can get accepted. Well, after that happening so much, of course, it drove the the cost of living up. For instance, if you purchase a home, if you have a home that's listed for 200,000, and somebody is willing to give you an extra $50,000 on that home just so they can get it, guess what? Now that home is worth, and the homes in that area that are similar are now worth 250,000 because a home is valued at what a willing and able buyer is willing to purchase it for. And once a home sells at a certain amount of money, that dictates what the average cost of that home should be within the community. And we call that running comparables. So as a realtor, we run comparables, and that tells us, okay, well, I'm looking for, this house is selling for 300,000 and 5 other homes around it have sold recently for 300,000. We're going to just suggest this is pretty much the going rate for this particular home in this area. So, with that being said, people were coming in with tons of money, paying over the asking price and shooting up the cost of living or shooting up the housing market rates for the homes. So that happened. So it changed. And so now the homes aren't as affordable as they used to be. However, I still do my research on different areas in different states, and Texas still have some really, really good prices for not only just their homes, but land and also new builds. So you can get a brand new home in a suburban community, a brand new build home for $200,000. There are tons of subdivisions now where they're building brand new homes that you can purchase for $200,000. So keep that in mind. Also, the build to rent communities. Now, this is a big thing that I did not know. I've never heard of this until I moved to Texas, but they have these communities that are built to rent. And these are single family homes. Some of them may be surrounded by like condos or townhomes where it's like they're all within a certain community where you'll have like the perimeter, like going around the community, maybe townhomes or condos that are connected. And then in the middle will be like individual homes. And they can be anywhere from 1,700 square feet all the way up to 2,700, 3,000 square feet. And these are homes that are being engineered or being built specifically for long-term rentals. So these are not like homes that are for sale. The communities are nice, the amenities are amazing. They have like I literally worked for a build to rent community. It was a newer development. I worked as a property manager, but they were looking to fill the properties as they were building them. And we had like several models available for people to come in, and they'll come in, they'll look at the different models, they'll decide which one they want, they'll put their deposit down, and when the home is complete, they'll move in. And they had amenities like swimming pool, indoor, outdoor basketball court, fire pits throughout the community where you can sit and have like bonfires with your family, tennis courts, dog parks. I mean, these communities are engineered where they look like a community where you can go in and purchase a home, but they're only built to rent. The goal is for long-term renters, people who are looking to rent for a while. And it's a great alternative, especially for people who, just to piggyback when I was first discussing about the rates and everything, people who purchased homes with those very attractive interest rates that are like 2, 3, 4% interest rates. The interest rates were great. However, it was a seller's market. It wasn't a buyer's market. And it's kind of like an oxymoron. It kind of contradicts itself. It's like, how can it be a seller's market when the interest rates are so in favor for the buyer? Well, for several reasons. One, if you were a buyer at that time, if you didn't have tons of money aside or equity from another home or money saved or some type of 401k or life insurance policy, somewhere where you can get like some heavy duty cash to actually put in with your bid to be sure that you can solidify a deal, it was like no point of even putting an offer in, because I sold a few homes and everybody put 30,000 or more down, or were willing to put $30,000 or more over asking just to be able to get their offer approved. So it was like really a rough time for buyers at the time. And not only that, because the economy was growing so rapidly, it sent up the housing costs, which also sent up the taxes. So people were trying to get out of the homes because they could no longer afford them because the taxes had skyrocketed so fast. So now it's like, okay, I got this home, it's beautiful, but I can no longer afford it, so I need to get out of it. However, it was a new build. I've been in a new community for the last 3, 4 years or 2 or 3 years. Where am I going to take my children or my family to that's comparable? And a lot of people are moving to these build to rent communities, which are, I would say, the alternative to anyone who is in that situation where they have to sell their home because they can no longer afford it because of the taxes. Or just someone who's looking to live lavish. Like if you're just that person and you just like beauty, you like new things, you want to live in a popping, thriving, growing community, build to rent is definitely the way to go. Let me just venture off, and I know I talk a lot about real estate, but I'm a holistic person. When I deal with my clients, it's not all about let's just buy or sell your home. It's dealing with the whole from a holistic approach. So I do want to just discuss a little bit about my experiences here in Texas before I go on to my next subject, which is going to be business opportunities. It has been a roller coaster being here in Texas. As I say that, let me take another sip. Okay. It has been a roller coaster. It has not been all peaches and cream, although I still to this day believe that I heard a voice from, well, I heard that inner still voice that we all, or most of us, have that kind of leads us and guides us through life. I know it was meant for me to move here. The quality of life has changed in my mind, my growth, um, just the healing, and I'll go into that at the end. Like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about when you're called or when you feel that call to move, how it can be a benefit to just follow that voice. But it hasn't been the easiest ride because you have to, wherever you go. I heard someone say this long before I moved here. Wherever you go, there you are. So your address, your zip code does not change who you are automatically, right? And that's and that's if you're a good person or a bad person, or if you make good decisions or bad. It does. I don't mean that in any way. I'm just saying whoever you are, if you're a great person, you're going to be that great person wherever you go, right? And when you make the leap to relocate to a different state, a different culture, and learn just a whole different set of rules and cultural rules and maybe principles and morals, um, you have to take your time out to really know where you are. I really appreciate the pandemic happening because I'm one of those people I can move like lightning speed. If it's something I want to do, let's do it. Let's get it done. I don't like to procrastinate. I'm going to do it. However, when the pandemic happened, and I, of course, was like, what is going on? Why did I feel I needed to move here? This feels like a setup. Did I jump out of the frying pan into the fire? You know, why? Why am I here? And it came to me that I needed to take the time out to really understand where I was and where I am. Don't just come in thinking everyone's the same. And contrary to popular belief, all Americans are not the same. All cities and state and zip codes, people, animals, weather, it varies. It varies however things are ran in the culture and the expectations or whatever you're used to things being like, those things change depending on where you are. So I thank God that I had the opportunity during our pandemic to really sit down and learn and study the culture of Texas, which is totally different from Michigan. For instance, and I'll give an example. In Michigan, I was raised, I can't attest to everyone, but how I was raised and many of my friends and family, the people that I know, your word is your bond. If you say something and you make a mistake or you agree to something or whatever, and it turns out not to be exactly what you thought it would be, you eat that. And you say, hey, listen, I said this or I made this agreement. And at the time I thought it was this, but now I'm learning that it's that. So I want to apologize and I want to figure out how I can make this right. In Texas, through my experience and a ton of people that I know, if it's not in writing, it never happened. If you don't have me recorded, it never happened. So if I can say I didn't say it or I didn't agree to it or we didn't make that arrangement, it never happened. And that was like one of those things. This is just an example. And I'm a person of my word, and I'm thinking, well, if I said it, it doesn't have to be in writing. I remember saying it, I'm going to agree to that I said it, and I'm going to have to figure out how I can make it right of it. Well, everyone does not have that same, level of commitment to their word or that same honesty, or for the lack of better words. So I had to learn that. I had to learn that, and that was something that was very hard for me to get used to. And it wasn't a situation that I can say, okay, this is an anomaly that this happened once. It was like a trend in different sectors, not all in one sector, whether it was business or personal. And I'm like, okay, this is a little bit different than where we this is a little bit different from Detroit now, because we don't play that in the D. They get crazy. You be wishing because your word is your bond, So that little part. So I had to figure out, okay, when you're doing business or when there's an agreement, you need to get it in writing. You need to do a follow up, which I've always known that. But like I said, coming from being primarily around people who will stick to their word, regardless whether it's a tough situation or not, I brought that here with me. And it's like, okay, but that's not the reality. So you need to get with the program, right? So that was just one little bit of a nugget before I go any further, just to kind of give you the culture. There's people from all over. Like you have people from New York, Wisconsin, um, Chicago. Um, some people are sprinkling in from Georgia. A gang of Detroit people from Detroit. California, like California just poured in. Californians. Um, yeah, I met people from Washington. Like, I mean, it's people from everywhere, even outside of the country. From different countries pouring in. I like the diversity because there's more opportunity for growth. It's not so much segregation here. And that was the biggest thing for me when I decided to move to Texas. I noticed that it wasn't the blacks are over here or, the Mexican culture is over here and here's where the Indians live, and which is what I'm used to. You have Mexican town, you have Hamtramck, which is where most of the Arabic or Chaldeans lived, and everybody kind of like stayed in their own little section, which didn't necessarily feel 100% right to me, but it was just what it was. It was how I was raised and what I was used to. Where in Texas, you in one community, you're gonna see everybody. I mean, you're gonna have Indians, Mexicans, Black Americans, African Americans. You're gonna have, um, I mean, you name it. Like you're gonna see everything in Texas. And that's just the honest to God truth. Now there are little areas where you can go to that are like newly developed, where you may see, 7 or 8 blocks of one particular race. And generally, how that happens is they had some type of connection with the builders when that community was being built, and they usually would just come in as like buy up a block or two for just their family. So I see that a lot now. Um, but it's not like prominent. Here the diversity is over the top. Another thing, and I hope this don't sound like racist or anything. I don't want to get canceled, but I do want to be honest for people who are looking to move that are African American. Um, One of the things that have really surprised me moving from Detroit, Michigan to Dallas, Texas, or Dallas, Texas area. I live north of Dallas. But what was ironic to me is that we were able to look at homes in really, really nice areas when we first moved here and when we were renting. And I'll do another video about the purchasing and when I purchased a home and everything like that here. I do another video. That's a whole other story. And you guys are gonna love that one too. So if you want to hear that story, comment below and I'll tell you about that. But if I get enough comments, 10, I'll do a whole video on it. I'll walk you through the whole process. But when we were renting, when we first moved here, we would look at homes in some really nice areas, brand new homes, new builds, beautiful homes. And we weren't being shunned. In Michigan, I remember looking for homes, and if they weren't in like the areas where primarily Black people live, the homeowners, the realtors will kind of be looking at you like, well, you know, you're not about to get this house. Like you look around, but yeah, no, right? And have a good time. Go look. Yeah, it's beautiful. Go look in the basement. Yeah, we get all new floors, new paint. Yeah, new carpet. But you won't be getting in, right? You'll be. I would feel like that, but here I don't. And that was one of the things that really sold me on Texas. I'm like, so you can have Black excellence in Texas. Okay, let's do it. Because now that I'm here, I understand there's so many successful Black families to where you would shoot yourself in your own foot if you were to discriminate against somebody because of the color of their skin. Really, you don't know who has money. You don't know who owns a business or who is whatever. You know what I mean? Related to this person or that person or whatever. Okay, that was another thing that I really really like. Okay, God, I think I found my home. I have found home because now I can live free. I can live the way I enjoy living and don't have to worry about being discriminated against or forced to live in a certain community for one reason or the next, right? I can literally live where I want to live and live the lifestyle that I decide that I want to live based on how hard I work. Like if I'm working just as hard as the next family, why can't I live in a safe community, in a brand new home, or in a clean area, or in a home that has, stores right up the street, Target right up the street from me, right? So that's one of the things I wanted to kind of interrupt. I'm sorry if I felt like I was ranting a little bit, but I know if you tuned into this video, you tuned in because you want to hear the truth, and I want to give it to you. Now, the business opportunities. I want to just say that Texas is growing so rapidly where the city that I live in, I think it was reported that over the last year, 15,000 new family, was it 15,000? Yeah, I think it was 15,000 new families has moved into the city because it's growing. Like, and then that number doubled for another city that I was living in, and I mean, it's growing fast. Texas is really the cities are growing really really fast, especially north of Texas, like areas like McKinney, Plano, Frisco, Salina, Aubrey, Louisville, Little Am, the Colony, where else? Anna, Melissa, farmers has owned this land for so many years and now they're selling it off to builders to build. And the good thing about it is there's more people than there is stores, right? Um, in Michigan, you may have like a Walmart per, you know, like area. Like you might have a Walmart in Livonia, but you're not gonna get to your next Walmart until you are in, where's the next one? Shoot, Detroit, I think. Where in Texas, you're gonna see a Walmart like every 5 miles, and they're all gonna be busy. Targets, not so many, but more than what I'm used to seeing. Like you see a lot of Targets, like the superstore. There's so many people. So why am I saying that? Well, because we need restaurants. We need food. You'll hear people say, "Oh, they have great food. You have to go to Texas. I mean, you have to go further in Dallas, or you have to go Richardson, or you have to go to Houston, or whatever." Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. Can I drink again? Come on, let's drink this New Year's. Happy New Year. We need food. I'm from Michigan. We got Motor City. We got, I don't even want to listen. Crab House on, listen, we need food. People who are like in the restaurant industry, if you are looking to expand your brand or looking to expand your restaurant, you know, please by all means I'm talking about Chicago food, Michigan food, Milwaukee food. You know, the Midwest, we know how to burn. We get down. And I know they say, well, they can cook and drink. Okay, yeah, whatever. We cook in Michigan. We be cooking. Because when I cook down here, people be like, oh my God, you know how to cook, girl. This food is good. We cook. We cook with our whole heart and soul. And everything be good. And I have been to some soul food restaurants. And it's only because Mexican, they mix every, like, listen, the food can be better. I'll just say that. The food can be better. Everybody who I know who lives here that are from Michigan or Chicago, they all said New York, they all say the same thing. Like, I hate the food. Like, have you found any good restaurants? And the chain restaurant, I mean, like, you can, let me just say this. Perry Steakhouse, I love them. Like, I can name a lot of 5-star restaurants where the average plate is going to be about $100 for a good experience. The food is going to be good. I mean, but what's to be expected if you're paying $100 a plate? I'm talking about $23, no more than 30, and you get in neck bones, oxtails, macaroni and cheese, greens, candy yams, fish sandwiches. So far, I've only had catfish here. Like, I'm like, where's the pickerel? Where's the orange roughy? Where is the fish? Like, y'all not eating no fish around here. Like, the bass, the red snapper, like, y'all just eating catfish? What? And I see me, I like pickerel. I'm sorry. They're like firecrackers in my neighborhood. So if you hear that, hey, this is what they do. And it ain't, we got 30 minutes before 12 o'clock. And I'm going to probably be on here and we're going to cheers it up together and we're going to close on out. So if you are in the restaurant business, Texas is the place for you. If you are in the daycare business, Texas is the place for you. If you are in tech, listen, if you're in tech, you need to be heading over to Texas. That's just the bottom line. All the tech jobs are here. If you have any type of nonprofit organization, you'll work here too. It's like if you're giving and you have some type of organization to help families, things of that nature, or help people, women, shelters for women and kids, or people who are on substances or substance abuse organizations. We need them. We need them in Dallas, especially in these growing cities. Builders, people who are in home improvement. Now, I'm going to give you I'm going to, like, in the middle of each segment, I'm going to throw in a little culture. What I've noticed so far from being here, and it's just my personal opinion, and my husband says the same thing, and my son says the same thing, and my daughter says the same thing because we all work here. Texans, they probably had a little bit easy for a long time. While we busting our butts in the Midwest in the snow. And they probably been kind of living a little easier than most states. So the people are a little bit comfortable. Where in Michigan, we don't get comfortable. Like, we keep our phones on because it could be business. We're gonna make sure we're automated just in case we can't get to the phone. You can send us something so we can know you need our business. We make an appointment. We're there. We're gonna be there before you get there. If we are doing any type of home improvement, we're gonna be at your home. We're gonna be 15 minutes before we're gonna be sitting in front of the house. No, I'm just taking pictures and measurements. If you're looking to buy a home, you want to work with a realtor, we're gonna call you. Hey, remember you're trying to buy that house. What's up? Let's go. Did you talk to the girl I just introduced you to get your credit together? Oh, did you talk to the lender? Did you get that paperwork over there? Like, we're gonna push you. We're gonna make you get up and do what you need to do. Where the culture is a little bit different here. Having said that, I wish I would have moved here a long time ago because the harvest is plentiful, but the laborers are few. Let's go into the cities specifically. First, and I'm just going to name off a few. I'm not going to go into them all. If you want to know about more cities, tag me, you know, drop something down in the comment section about what city you're interested. I'll do a video on. I'll even do some B-roll to show you what the cities look like, what the attractions are. Just ask me. I'm here. I'm here to help you. Let's talk about Frisco. I love Frisco. Frisco is really expensive. The median household there is about 650,000. If you, the PGA, if you're into golf, their corporate headquarters is there. There's going to be a Universal Studio being built in Frisco. That is the corporate headquarters for the Dallas Cowboys, where their corporate headquarters is housed, where their gym, where they work out at, is housed. There's a lot of restaurants, fun things to do. It's always lit up, especially during this time. Like the Christmas season is lit up. It's beautiful. It's so much stuff to do. It's just warm. It's just a very warm city. You got the Legacy West, which I'm going to do some B-roll on Legacy West, but not in this video, but I do another one. Legacy West is like a strip of all the high-end stores that you can think of, from Gucci to MAC to you name it, it's there. And it's just a place to be. It's where it's the 5-star restaurants, the people. You can go, it's like a strip of just fancy restaurants and high-end shopping, period. And it has a Starbucks. So you can get your makeup, you can get your purse, you can get your Starbucks, you can go have a drink on a rooftop, have some hookah, go to a cigar bar. If you are into that life, if you one of those people where you just like to put on your red lipstick, or you want to put your high heels on, or you want to put on your nice little suit and whatever, and you just want to feel good and be around just that money, Frisco, Legacy West. Frisco is beautiful. I love it. They're pretty much known for sports, and they have excellent schools. Now, McKinney is older. It's an older, they're about the same age. McKinney being a little bit more older in terms of they were developed a little bit more than Frisco. Frisco is newly developed, where Frisco is a little bit more, McKinney is a little bit more older. So I love McKinney trees. Oh my God. Like, you can just ride through McKinney in some areas, and their trees and their homes and their buildings. It's just beautiful there. And they're pretty much praised for their historic downtown and their strong sense of community. A lot of the successful people that I have met here in Texas, they have either were raised or went to McKinney school systems. So I don't know if that's some type of correlation, but most of people who I meet here that are like highly successful and doing pretty good, they'll be like, yeah, I grew up in McKinney, or I went to McKinney High. So, and McKinney is really nice to live in. Their median is probably at about, you can still get into McKinney for about 400,000, depending you can, but it's just a very well developed, beautiful community. And when I say, and I don't know if for people who are from smaller states like Michigan, when I mention these cities, these are not like 20-minute drives and then you're out the city, or 10-minute drives and you're out the city. These cities are like, some of them can be an hour long. Like, dang, I'm still in McKinney. Like, whoa, I didn't know they come. So these are like large communities. Prosper is getting ready to be the new Frisco. That's what I think. Prosper is right across from Frisco. They're known for their luxury homes and the small town feel. So it has a small town feel. They still have, like, there's a place in Prosper I like to eat at. It's called the Cotton Gin. And if you look that up, I'll probably put like a picture somewhere, Cotton Gin. It's like a really like down home, cozy Texan feel. But the homes that are around that area are like luxury, high-end luxury. Oh, and if you're ever in Prosper, you gotta go to, and I'm just giving people shots out, but who cares? Go to Killa, Killa Pizza. When I tell you, I'm gonna put a picture of the pizza. Their pizza is the bomb. One day we went in there and we had, well, we've been often, like that's one of our spots, but um, I noticed that the pizza tastes so much like Buddy's. And if you're from Detroit, take another sip to that. Almost 12. If you know, you know. Okay. Buddy's pizza, off the chain. You leave the bar or leave the club at night, head over to Buddy's, get you a pizza, hang out with your people. I think they used to close at like 2 o'clock or something like that. Very good pizza. Anyway, one day I went in, I was talking to my waitress, and I'm like, this pizza is so good. She's like, yeah, the owner, they got the recipe from a place in Detroit. And I'm like, where in Detroit? She like Buddy's Pizza. I'm like, I'm from Detroit and I love Buddy's. And this is what this pizza tastes like. To me, by my whole life, Jets and Buddy's were like my favorite pizzas. Buddy's being number one. There's not, I mean, I've been to Pizzapopolis and all those different places, but no other pizza in Michigan to me top Buddy's. Now, I may be missing something, but for me, it was Buddy's. And she said the owner went to Buddy's Pizza and fell in love with the pizza where they asked or purchased, or I don't know the legal thing behind it, but they got the recipe to Buddy's Pizza and they brought it to Texas. It was called Detroit Killer Pizza, and I think it's in Prosper. So they're like, Detroit Killer, take it down. So now it's just called Killer Pizza. When I first moved here, it was Detroit Killer Pizza, but now it's just Killer Pizza. But it's really good pizza. And then Prosper is also known for their school system. People were moving out of the country to have their children go to Prosper school system. Now I'll say this. I guess I won't. To each his own with school systems. You have to do your research. Everything is online. When it comes to grades and school systems. Me personally, I have a son who I homeschool, but he's on the spectrum, and it just made more sense for me to homeschool. If you want to know anything about that, comment below. I'll do a video. That just is what worked for me. Everybody's different. Salina's a good area too. And it is emerging as the next big suburb with affordable land and new development. So Salina is one of those places. It's going to be like your next McKinney. That's what I think. It's going to be your next McKinney. And it is an area where you can still move to and get a bang for your buck because they're still developing. Now, I'm putting this video out here. It's New Year's Eve 2024. 2026, don't call me saying, Crystal, it's almost impossible to get into Texas because I told you, run. All 2025, if you're thinking about moving to Texas, you need to be calling me. You need to be inboxing me, finding me. Crystal welcomes you home. You can go to my website at crystalgholston.com, or you can follow me on Instagram at Crystal Gholston Realtor, or you can comment under in the comments below, and I'll make sure that I reach back out to you. And then, okay, I'm gonna give you one more, and that is Little Am. Little Am is popular for families. They have lakeside living, and they have a lot of new amenities, new emerging amenities. So, and Little Am also has like a beach, and it's very popular. People go to the beach a lot. Now, let me tell you something. You're gonna look, and I'm gonna put my notes down. I'm just gonna freestyle it. You're gonna look in Texas, and you're gonna be watching these videos. You're gonna hear people, "Oh my God, the tolls is the worst thing about Texas." Da, da, da. The traffic about Dallas. The traffic is not bad, and the tolls aren't bad. Now, I did get some tolls, and I was up there in the thousands, and I had to pay it down. But that was my own ignorance. You do not have to get tolls. Don't get on the freeway. When you set your GPS, make sure you take your tolls off. and you're going to be able to get redirected. Now, you may have to add 20 or 30 more minutes, depending on where you're going, to your commute. But if you don't want to pay the tolls, take the tolls off and you won't pay them. Because if you don't, they will suspend your license. They won't let you renew your tags, and it can just get very, very ugly. And then they'll tack on all these fees, and they'll just keep growing, right? So you don't want to do tolls. But even more so than tolls, the driving down here, the people, the mentality, it's the worst driving I've ever seen in my life. It's the worst driving experience that I have ever had in any of the states that I have visited. And even Michigan, living in Michigan, like it's worse than 7 Mile. If you don't hear you from Michigan, everywhere in Dallas, Texas, surrounding Texas, period, Texas, the driving is worse than 7 Mile. Can I have another drink? So you don't like 7 Mile? Now, my children didn't drive prior to us moving here because they were too young. So they learned how to drive here, and I was petrified. I'm like, oh, I would never. How are they gonna learn how to drive? Like, this is crazy. I know. But my daughter, she has driven with me for 2 years before having an experience of driving on her own. So she's good. She knows how. She has bad road rage because they will give you bad. Like, the people here will hit you with their car. Like, they will literally run their car into yours. Like, oh, you think I won't? Bam. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. One of my friends told me, she said, and I don't really remember how she worded this, so I'm kind of like freestyling, so don't get on me if I misquote this, but she was saying that since she lived here for a minute, that statistics show that people drive the way that they talk. So people who are like from foreign countries who talk really fast and think really fast, they have a tendency to drive faster and make more abrupt changes when driving on the road. I don't know. And I'm not saying that it's just foreigners, it's everybody. Like, and then when you talk to people about the bad driving, and you're like, oh, people here drive crazy. They're like, yeah, I'm the people. I'll run you off the road. And it's like, oh, you're the people. Okay, sorry. Yeah. Uh-oh. So that's happened a lot with me, just having conversations. Texans love Texas. And they love the way Texas has been forever. They love the simplicity, they love the cows, they love being able to fish at their little ponds in their neighborhood, because that's another thing. Most of the neighborhoods have ponds where you can fish right outside in your neighborhood. Some say you have to fish and throw back in, like you can catch them, but you have to throw it back in. But there's a lot of neighborhoods that you can actually fish and take your fish home and cook it. So people like that. So with so many people migrating from different areas, they are pissed. So there's a lot of, especially California. Texans, listen, if you're from California and you watching this, do yourself a favor and don't move to Texas. I know. I'm just, no, do what you want to do. But Texans, oh my God, they don't like y'all. They be like, oh, are you from California? No. It's like when they find out people be from California, they be wanting to put a sign on their yard like they from California. Like, what did they do? Like, what's up? And I'm from the Midwest, so we don't even know. We're like, well, what's the problem? Like, what's wrong with the California? But I guess they don't like the politics or something. I don't know. I don't care. I just know in conversation a lot, they're like, it's those Californians. Like, it rained today, it's because the Californians are moving in. Like, okay, they brought the pandemic. Like, come on, like these people can't be that. I mean, they're pretty cool people to me. I don't know. Californians, y'all are not welcome to Texas. It's like, don't just let's have another drink. It's the wine. They don't want your hair, but hey, I don't know why. It's just how it is. So If you came to this video because you read in the description that sometimes when you get that unction or that premonition to relocate, it can be, but it can be like God or that spiritual knowing or whatever you call that higher place that you go to. It can sometimes be that leading you in a different direction. I'll just tell you my personal experience. I needed to heal. I needed to get away and I needed to grow. And I couldn't grow it. I couldn't grow anymore. I couldn't grow. I was so angry in Michigan. I was so hurt. It was so many memories, so much betrayal, so many family things that backdated all the way to my childhood that was stifling me from being able to just evolve into the woman that I knew that God was calling me to be. And I kept getting this premonition that it was just time for me to move. And I tried everything in my being not to have to. Like everything I would start, it would be like, okay, this is looking good. Maybe, maybe I don't have to move. Maybe it can, maybe I can stay and things will be working out and then boom, something will happen. And I couldn't understand, like, why is it that it feels like I can't just get into the swing? It's always something. There's always some type of, you know, like bombshell or like I'm always looking like when is the ball gonna drop again? Like what's gonna happen next? Like it was just I felt like spiritually, I felt like I had vice grips just on my spirit, just squeezing me. And I felt unhappy, completely unhappy. And I knew I was like, you know what, Crystal, in order to get to the point where you need to be, you have to listen. And I made the decision to leave. How it came to my spirit is the person who's fed up with any toxicity. I don't care what it is, whether it's a bad relationship or whether it's a bad job, whether it's anything that's just not right for you no more. When you fed up with it, you're gonna let it go. And it's like, you know what? I don't care what's on the other side of the door. I gotta go. And that's how I felt. Since I've obeyed the voice that was calling me to leave, I have evolved in ways that was 100% unimaginable when I was in Michigan. I did not think that I could even be the person that I am today, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, emotionally, psychologically, like I literally evolved to the point where I see it. Other people, sometimes like when you're losing weight, even like now I'm going through a weight loss journey and people say to me, Kristen, you've lost so much weight. And I'm like, really? Because I had body dysmorphia and I'm like, I don't really feel like I lost a lot of weight. I feel like I would put on the same clothes and then now I'm fitting them perfectly. And it's like, I'm still wearing the same clothes until like some days I walk past the mirror and I'm like, wow, I do look different, right? And that was the same thing with me as a person and evolving as a woman. Like people will say, oh, Crystal, I see the glow up. Oh my God, you're doing so good since you moved to Texas. I can see this all over your face. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, really? Until I started noticing my reactions to things changing. How I am so gun-ho and adamant about peace of mind. I will walk away from anything. I don't care. If it's not serving my highest good, I'm done. And I don't care what it is and who it may be. I'm willing to jeopardize and sacrifice whatever to make sure that my mental health is taken care of and my physical health is taken care of. So I would say if you are feeling like you want to move, that it's going to take for you to have to move in order to get the healing that you're seeking, move. Stop wasting your time. Because every time you put that thing on a back burner and you delay it, you're delaying what God got for you. Because you got to be willing to step out on faith and forsake any and all things that is holding you back from who you know you should be, who you know God is trying to form you into. This is something that you got to do for yourself. And guess what? You're not going to regret it. The people that love you or you love that you think you're going to miss, if they love you, they're going to visit you. They're going to call you. They're going to come see you. And a lot of people you think you love it on, you're going to be like, I'm so happy I love this person because what made me think they had my best interest? Why was I so committed to that? Sometimes you got to move. Sometimes in order to get to where you need to be in your life, you got to make a drastic decision. It's time for some people to just step out on faith. Step out, believe God. Don't care what people got to say. Don't care how people are going to look at you. Don't care. I don't have any family or friends, or I don't know nobody, or what I'm going to do if this happens, and what I'm going to do if that happens. Listen, if God has provided for you in the space that you're in right now, trust me. It's a scripture in the Bible to say God gives seed to the sower. Sow obedience. Sow obedience to the spoken word that you feel on the inside of you that's telling you that it's time for you to move forward. So that you can get what God has for you, so that you can grow in ways that are unimaginable. So that you can experience the peace that you always felt in your heart and in your soul you deserve and that you needed in order to grow. There is no regret in following your spirit, in following God, and following your heart. Is everything going to work out for your good? Absolutely. Is it going to be a walk in the park? Some days, no. Will it be hard some days? Yeah. Will it be worth it? Absolutely. Because out of all the things that growing experiences that I went through here in Texas, to be who I am today, I'll go through them again. Because I needed to evolve. I needed to be free. I needed to get away. I needed a fresh start. And I needed to be in a peaceful space. And I remember praying and asking, why do I need to move? Why do I need to leave? Why can't this just happen here? And it came to me, your healing is there. Your evolution, your growth, your maturity, what God got for you is there. You're done here. You've grown as far as you can grow. Let everything go and pack your bags and do what you know you need to do. And you know what you feel you need to do. And that's how easy it is. Just do it. Don't worry about what's gonna happen. I just want to make sure I got $1,000 saved up. Listen, and I'm just saying 1,000 be funny. I overplanned to move. I had everything straight. Listen, them ducks was in a row. But God allowed the COVID pandemic to happen so that he can show me you can't outplan me. Because you didn't put this part in there. Now you need me to get you through this part. God doesn't need our help. He needs our obedience. So, having said that, we have made it to 2025. Happy New Year. Happy New You. I'm so happy that I was able to spend my new year with you guys, giving you an update on Texas, but most importantly, helping you to understand that when God says move, that he got your back the entire way. And I hope I helped somebody today. Or if this message has gotten through to you and you felt it, drop something down in the comment. And cheers. Happy New Year's. Happy New You 2025. It's time to rise. Peace.